Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5:30.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of North Fargo. Good evening. Emergency crews are at a fatal crash that took place about an hour and a half ago. We know that one person is dead. The crash happened at the intersection of 45th Street and 40th Avenue north of Riley's Acres. That's where we find Valley News Team's Giovanna Simic, who has details on what happened. Giovanna?
Christine, right over here to my left is where after the two vehicles collided, they both rolled multiple times and both ended up in the ditch. Now, according to two witnesses that were in the van rolled through the stop sign and collided with they were heading northbound and they collided with the vehicle that was heading westbound. And as I mentioned earlier, the vehicles rolled multiple times. The driver of the van was thrown out of the van and pronounced dead at the scene. Now, we will have more information for you regarding this later on tonight at 10 at 10. But I can tell you, talking to witnesses here and talking to the two people that were in the van, it was, according to them, the most shocking experience of their life. Christine, back to you.
All right, Giovanna, thank you so much for that information.
We know what the Wetterling family and all of Minnesota have longed to know since that awful night in 1989. We know the truth.
A stunning development in the kidnapping and killing of 11-year-old Jacob Wetterling. Breaking news out of Minneapolis. Jacob Wetterling was murdered in Minnesota in 1989, and the case remained opened until today. Danny Heinrich pleaded guilty in federal court to a child pornography charge, where he also confessed to the crime, detailing every disturbing detail. Prosecutors also had Heinrich detail how he kidnapped and assaulted then 12-year-old Jared Schrail in January of 1989, just months before killing Jacob. Sources say Heinrich led investigators to Jacob's remains last week, something U.S. Attorney Andrew Luger says the family needed.
Through the hard work of so many dedicated local, state, and federal law enforcement officials, we were able to keep that promise.
Stick with Valley News Live and valleynewslive.com for updates on this developing story. Governor Dayton tells us he doesn't know the Wetterlings personally, so he has not reached out to them. He says he's keeping the family in his thoughts as they try to process finally knowing what happened to their son after 27 years.
I understand that they were holding out hope all these years that Jacob was going to return home alive to them. So in their words, they're heartbroken, and I think all of us in Minnesota share that grief.
Dayton says the BCA informed him last week about developments in the Wetterling case, but he, like everyone else, received confirmation that the remains were Jacob's on Sunday. Some viewers are loving the temps lately, 60s and 70s. Let's check out the evening forecast with meteorologist Robert Hahn. Robert?
Yeah, and that's exactly where we've got our temperatures still at this hour, a mixture of some 60s and some 70s, and we're going to see temperatures similar to that as we head through much of the next 7 days. Right now, 64 degrees in Langdon, 66 Valley City, 74 here in Fargo. Degree better than that, 75 down in the Sisseton area. Winds, they've been generally light out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. And that's how they'll continue as we head through the overnight hours tonight, becoming rather light. We have had some clouds to deal with and a few more clouds are streaming on through. We'll clear out for a while later on tonight, and then the clouds will roll back in tomorrow. Underneath what clouds we do have, we are seeing some precipitation, but that not reaching the ground. May see an isolated sprinkle in our far southwestern counties, but the vast majority of us will stay dry until we get into the late afternoon hours tomorrow. But this evening here in Fargo, we stay dry. Temperatures cooling on down into the upper 60s by 8 and into the mid 60s by 9. I mentioned that chance for some storms. We do have a chance for some strong storms, as a matter of fact, as we head through your Wednesday. Who has the best chance at that? We'll let you know in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Robert. Two men are behind bars after a shootout in North Fargo in a neighborhood. It started around 6:30 Monday night when police got numerous calls about gunshots in the 800 block of Oak Street North. Now it appears members of two groups were shooting at each other, but no one was hurt. Officers have arrested 32-year-old Zach Northern of Moorhead. He's in the Clay County Jail. And 21-year-old Jaquan Gatewood of Fargo is being held in the Cass County Jail. Both are accused of reckless endangerment. We may be hearing a bit less about it, but the heroin and opioid addiction problem in our region has by no means gone away. Tonight we take you back to the Integrative Medicine Clinic in Thief River Falls. It's a heroin addiction treatment center we first told you about when it opened in April. Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us what's happening now.
The Integrative Medicine Clinic helps people who were at a crossroad in life, suffering from heroin and opioid addiction. The number of folks they're treating here is growing by leaps and bounds. Dr. Rittenauer started with a license to be able to treat as many as 30 people last April. That license has been upgraded to be able to treat 100 people a month. Dr. Rittenauer uses the drug Suboxone to ease cravings and help folks break the habit. These folks come from all
walks of life, you know, and it's been very heartwarming to see the people that do come in. Most of these people, they're people with jobs, but they are on the verge of losing their job or have lost their job, or they have a lot of absenteeism because of their addiction.
The staff includes an office manager who takes calls around the clock from folks who are struggling, and a counselor to make sure a treatment plan is complete. Both of them are also in recovery.
Every person has a story, and then really helping get at what created the addiction. I mean, it's not just about using. People use for a reason.
Just to text me, call me, if it's questions on their appointment or if they just need to talk.
Okay.
I make myself as available as possible.
It's a combination of services that has the clinic's client list growing at a fast clip.
And you're
seeing folks from Bemidji, Fargo, Grand Forks areas?
Yes. Up, you know, Grafton, North Dakota, we draw from. Seems like there's a lot of trouble up in Grafton for some reason, but and then down to Fergus Falls.
Dr. Rittenauer says the majority of his clients are regular folks who simply became hooked on painkillers and wound up here. In Thief River Falls, Minnesota, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
If you'd like to know more information about the clinic services, you can call them at 218-683-5118. The buses are back. It's the first day of school in Moorhead and elsewhere across Minnesota. The growth in the Moorhead School District continues. The numbers, 6,538 students in Moorhead's public schools on this first day. That compares with 6,259 last year in grades K through 12. Now in the DGF School District, the growth continues as well. The superintendent there says first day enrollment is 1,666 students. That's up from 50 from last year. The superintendent says most of the enrollment increases are showing up in the lower grades, K through 5. What were you able to accomplish when you first started school? How to hold a pencil, or maybe use scissors, or even read? Parents are finding out many schools want children to come into their kindergarten class already knowing those skills so they can build on them throughout the school year. That's at private schools like Grace Lutheran. Their kindergarten teacher says she's seen the shift in education, but smaller class sizes let them do this.
Because we have smaller class sizes, we are able to individualize more.
Pretend?
Yes, it is, honey. Yep, that's a pretend garbage can.
Mrs. Worrell says trends in education come and go, but at the heart of all of it is making sure students are sure they walk away from the classroom better prepared for the world. The cities of Grand Forks and East Grand Forks are urging citizens to take extra precautions to avoid being bitten by mosquitoes. Grand Forks Mosquito Control will be conducting a citywide spraying tonight between 7 and 11 o'clock. To help reduce your risk of getting West Nile virus, the health department recommends using insect repellent that contains DEET, limiting your outdoor activities between dusk and dawn when mosquitoes are the most active. And also be sure to wear long pants and long sleeve shirts when it's possible, and eliminate standing water outside of or around your home. And of course, remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook so you can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just go ahead and search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. If you've heard that used cars are in short supply, we may have an answer as to why. That's still ahead tonight.
Today's weather, in a word, quiet, and we'll continue with some quiet conditions as we head through the overnight hours. But tomorrow, active weather makes its return to the Red River Valley. Well, the details on that coming up right after this.
You're watching